Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be covering 3 related subjects today, so let's get right into part 1. As followers of my vlog know, Mickey Mouth is often disrespectful to women as he goes out of his way to not only make fun of their appearance, but to laugh like a bratty middle school student as he does so. And he does this to Filipinas who have said nothing to or about him. He even attacks the wives or girlfriends of others while whining about other people criticizing his girlfriend, even when they didn't. In one of Mickey's videos, the subject of some expat vloggers bringing their wives or girlfriends into their channels wearing skimpy outfits in an effort to attract a bigger audience was brought up. That's a fair issue. Mickey managed about 7 seconds on topic before doing his usual crap.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. You're right. And we know a lot of guys that do that, even though they show their girl with a skimpy outfit with an ugly face. Right? Looks like somebody just slapped them with a freaking, 4x4 in the face.
In just seconds, Mickey went from the actual issue to making childish attacks on what the woman may look like. And, as usual, he enjoys doing so. It's just how children are. But there is something else that needs to be factored in when considering Mickey's statements on the issue of a woman wearing skimpy outfits. You see, you just can't trust any such claims by Mickey when it comes to specific people without checking yourself. Why? Well, as my regular viewers know, Mickey will literally make things up when it comes to what a woman wears. My favorite example that I documented was his claim that the Filipina P was wearing a slutty doctor's outfit in her videos. Here are the 2 doctor's outfits P has worn. Not only are they not slutty, they aren't even sexy. And in fact, my doctor wears pretty much the same thing, and she must be in her 50s. You can't trust much of anything a person says who would call those doctor's outfits slutty. With that out of the way, let's see what else Mickey says.
But that's the thing. It's like, then you have to look at the other aspect of things, of saying like, okay, is that respectful for your woman? That if you use your woman as a sexual object for other men, I think that's the most disrespectful thing. I mean, that just shows what type of person you are.
Okay, he's back on the legitimate topic. So why is he such a hypocrite by disrespecting women himself? Or is Mickey taking the position that you shouldn't disrespect your own woman, but if you want to disrespect someone else's woman, that's just dandy? I haven't seen that in any book on ethical behavior. For that matter, since Mickey claims he is a strong Catholic, I haven't seen anything in Catholic teachings that justify his comments either. I can agree with one thing Mickey said. It does definitely show the kind of person he is, and it ain't pretty. Let's listen to some more.
If they ugly and they're still trying to, thirst trap out there, and in a way it kind of works still for them, I guess you have to give them a bone and be like, all right, I'll let you do it, I guess. Because then you start seeing those the other guys that are straight up are straight up hard on for these girls that you're just like, wait, that girl? That girl? Really? That baby mama girl? What?
So he's right back to the personal attacks, and it sounds like he's referring to Baby May, the wife of Paul, Old Dog New Tricks. If not, it doesn't matter because I've already documented Mickey saying even worse things about her appearance in prior videos. Mickey's just a middle-aged guy with the maturity of a middle schooler. Mickey has said Baby May is a bottom-of-the-barrel woman. So for the second part of this video, I want to focus on Baby May being a good woman. American women between the ages of 20 and 40, while having an average height of 5 feet 5 inches, have an average weight of 168 pounds. That's pretty bad, especially since it includes very young women. Yet Baby May is in very good shape and is 39 years old. A 39-year-old woman who is in good shape is a very positive first impression. But how about other things? Because, obviously, if you only base things on physical appearance, you are unlikely to have a happy marriage for long. Most women are just average, and that's in their prime. Physical beauty rarely lasts. Other things matter more in the long run. Let's dig into some of those. What kind of person is Baby May? Well, it seems she had to walk 2 hours to lower elementary school, which would mean 4 hours just walking to get to her one-room schoolhouse and back. Her family was so poor that she never had a school uniform. It was so bad that what she wore to school in place of a uniform was something like a burlap sack her mother made into a dress. She was pulled out of school in the 3rd grade to work at home, doing manual labor, carrying stuff on her back which left her with shoulder issues to this day. Starting at age 15, she spent 10 years working as a caretaker for a Chinese woman. Pay was about $50 a month, and she only had 1 day off. And she was still sending money home for her brother's college expenses. She taught herself English by buying a Tagalog English dictionary. Next, she worked for a caterer from 6 a.m. to as late as midnight. She was paid $6 a day. She lived in a boarding house, 3 girls to a room, sleeping on the floor, yet still was sending money home to her parents. She managed to save $600, but gave it all to her sister when the sister's husband died and they didn't have the money to bury him. So she's a woman who is good at saving even when having very little, but also exceptionally kind to her family. When Paul found out she gave away the $600, he asked why she didn't tell him. After all, he would likely be able to help. But she just said it was her family's problem, not his. Even when they were first dating, Paul would offer to give her the small amount it would take for a trike ride back home, but she would say she had her own money. Seems like a very high standard to me of wanting to manage on her own instead of taking advantage of some Westerner, and it's what Mykkie has said women should do. Considering the objections Mykkie has made about those Filipinas who expect Western men to give, here we have a woman who is determined to pay her own way, yet Mykkie labels her as bottom of the barrel because Mykkie is a pathetic jerk. Baby May deserves a lot of respect. I'd also put her above most women I've known who happen to be blessed with exceptional beauty when young. You see, 20 years from now, Baby May will probably still be a person whose inner beauty I respect, and I'm pretty sure she will also be in better physical shape than almost all women her age at that time. Meanwhile, the women who are beautiful at 25 often are not just 10 years later. Moreover, if they don't already have a great work ethic and sense of responsibility, as well as generosity, they probably never will have those things. Real men consider other important attributes a person may have, not just facial beauty. My third topic has to do with Mykkie's weird fixation on rating women, especially when going negative. Let's start with how Mike's Philippine journey seems to treat women similarly to how you may buy a product in a store.
When we don't feel like this person is somebody that we're attracted to, we're not going to approach it. Now, some guys will say that, well, I know, but this is all I can accept. Well, I know, well, this is all I can afford.
The first part is okay. Obviously, if you aren't attracted to someone, you have no reason to approach them for a date. Of course, if you get to know them, you may well change your mind, for or against, because attraction isn't only about looks, not even at first. The real problem comes with the rest of the statement about how maybe you will approach an unattractive person if you think you can't do better or can't afford better. That sounds more like deciding what watch to buy, and because you can't afford a Rolex, you settle for an Apple Watch. But you only wanted the Rolex for its looks and the status that you think comes with it. But the Apple Watch is far more accurate and does many more things. Heck, I can easily buy a quartz watch for $20 that is more accurate than a Rolex. And even if the cost of a Rolex was no problem for me, I'd personally still buy the Apple Watch instead. I wouldn't care what a bunch of rich snobs think. In fact, if that is what you care about, maybe it is you who lack self-confidence and are just buying status. Mykkie then talks about the science of beauty.
And it's measurable. There's a science behind it.
That really isn't quite right, or at least it's a major exaggeration. Sure, there is stuff about the ratio of different parts of a woman's face, referred to as the golden ratio, but that sounds more like just surveying lots of people to see who they think is beautiful and then looking for commonality in various ratios. Which also means not everyone agrees. Do you decide someone's attractive because of what a majority thinks? Or do you decide what you find attractive? Are you a strong man or a sheep? Science is very limited in what it can evaluate in this area. For example, it can't give a mathematical basis for why one man falls in love with a particular woman, but another man isn't interested, no matter how beautiful she is. But if you fall in love with someone, you will almost certainly think they are more physically attractive than the guy who doesn't love her. Simply put, our emotions affect our judgment of beauty to a meaningful degree. I keep seeing pictures of women who are supposed to be the 10 most beautiful actresses or models, etc. But I never think all those on the list are especially attractive to me. Why should I care if someone else has a different opinion? That sounds like many women who need the approval of other women about the man they are with. Maybe Mykkie is showing his female side. I've seen young men list a somewhat overweight young woman as a 10, which seems odd on the surface. Then they say they like plump women. Oh, okay, not a preference I share, but, and this is critical, I don't have to share it. His preferences are as valid as anyone else's. Only a control freak thinks you must share their opinion. Then we have Mykkie's next problem.
Who's in charge of choosing people who's beautiful, right? There's a whole $1-trillion industry out there that has the people choosing who's pretty, who's beautiful, who's gorgeous, who's this.
He sounds like a preteen girl who has posters of some boy band star on their wall. You know, mostly because that boy band has gotten massive publicity by the $1-trillion industry instead of thinking for themselves. You know who is the person who gets to decide? You see them every day in the mirror. Unless they are weak and feel a need to follow the crowd or obey the so-called beauty experts. Maybe Mykkie subscribes to Teen Beat magazine. Haven't you outgrown the need to follow the crowd for status yet? It's also much like those who think famous fashion designers must be followed in what they say are the proper styles. The fact that styles change all the time and what you wear one year may well be ridiculed in a later year establishes how arbitrary they are. Look back at your old school yearbooks and how crazy some of the clothing appears to you now. Even a preference for certain physical features keeps changing. We had the Rubenesque women. We had the slim, even skinny women at various times as symbols of beauty. Even facial preferences have changed over the years. Things change, and they always will. Just go with what you like instead of being a sheep. Here's the thing. No one is in charge of beauty overall. It's shocking that anyone thinks like someone is. But notice such views come from people who think their views are the right ones. I don't care how many trillions are spent by people trying to tell me what I should prefer. If you are so tied to what other people tell you, wouldn't that make you a bit insecure?
We can't even get into a full agreement in regards for a beauty scale for a woman. Some guys are like, it's all up to you. No, it's not. It's not at all.
Wow, think about that. Mykkie actually thinks it's a problem that we not only don't agree on a beauty scale, but that it should be agreement in full, which is a really stupid position to take. Mykkie even says it isn't up to you. You get it? You aren't even allowed your own opinion.
And how do we determine if we want or if we're attracted to a woman? We rate their looks. You have to rate their looks before you actually approach them.
Really? We have to rate them? Why? When I was a young man, I just would see someone and be attracted or not. Could be for any number of reasons, including things I couldn't specifically identify. I certainly never had to apply a rating to them as if I would only approach someone who was an 8 or above, but not a 6 or 7. I can't think of a single time I felt I needed to put a number on a woman I was attracted to. I simply was attracted or I wasn't. No numbers needed. Mykkie may claim that just saying I'm attracted to someone is rating them, but a rating is inherently a comparison. I'm simply attracted or not, and it doesn't mean someone I'm attracted to is more beautiful than someone I'm not attracted to.
Because most men are not going to approach a woman who is what? Someone they are not attracted to. And for you to be attracted to someone, it's because of their beauty.
True, a man needs to be attracted. Wrong to act like it is just about beauty, and certainly wrong when Mykkie keeps insisting on only one standard of beauty. A good woman may not be as attractive as some other woman, but her other qualities may more than make up for it. Just like if you want a really accurate watch, it's not going to be the really beautiful Rolex.
Because never as it is where you meet a girl and you see a girl and you're like, oh my God, she has a beautiful inside. She's just a kind, joyous person. And she's a stranger. And you're like, I want to be with her because she's beautiful inside. That don't happen. In majority of ways on how things occur.
That's misleading too. If you never met before, physical attraction will dominate, temporarily. But even with a stranger, you can pick up other clues from how they're acting or things you might hear them say. The thing is, you usually aren't limited just to physical appearance, even with strangers. Let's look at the strange assumptions Mykkie makes about men who think their girlfriend or wife is pretty, if Mykkie disagrees.
That's the thing. And guys will try to protect. Why will guys try to say that she looks better? In average, we're not going to use the P here, just an average of women. You know, guys will be like, no, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. Why? It's because he has his own self-esteem issues.
Mykkie doesn't even consider the person may really feel his woman is pretty because Mickey's insecure, and personal attacks are easier for him than sticking with issues. But if he wants to play that game, it works both ways. How about guys who only date or marry a woman because most men think she is beautiful? In other words, a trophy wife, chosen based on the opinion of what may be a majority. Is that man just trying to boost his self-esteem and status rather than marry for more substantial reasons, including actually loving the woman? Just think about it. Who is hurt if someone thinks a person is attractive but you disagree? I'm pretty sure the answer is no one. So what kind of weak man is it who feels some weird need to put down what someone else thinks about their own woman? Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.